4 o'clock. We're at Twin Peaks in Tempe. Great place to watch a game, even though it's Tempe in Arizona State, but still a good place to watch. But joining us now, he's part of the Pac-12 Network. Also, the play-by-play radio voice for the Los Angeles Rams, JB Long. JB, it's Rock. How you doing, man? What's going on?
Rock, Manuch, and I hear JB too. What a full boat.
Glad you're
on vacation, enjoying the spring March Madness. I'm doing a little bit of the same. We've got the spring break underway here in Los Angeles, so my 2 boys and I are trying to make do. We're on child care duty before we turn it over to hoops tonight.
I love it. Well, let me ask you this. Los Angeles, as you know, we all come over there in the summer, and Long Beach, all over, Manhattan Beach, and to me, it always seems like it's been a Rams town. I know the Chargers there, but it's been a Rams town. But with the Chargers bringing on Jim Harbaugh, has that changed it at all? I mean, are they getting some exposure?
Yeah, I think there's been some national and local interest in bringing Harbaugh in. I think in particular, what can he do to take Justin Herbert to the next level? Herbert's own we're all fond of from his days at Oregon and the Pac-12, and got that big contract extension, and they just haven't been able to get over the hump in that division in particular. And who can blame them, because Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs still rule that roost and are coming off another championship. So they've had the roster, it seems like, but now they're going through a change at GM and head coach to try and get the most out of this franchise quarterback they've invested in. So, yeah, my Rams colors will always want this to be a Rams town, and I think the Rams are in a great position despite the retirement of Aaron Donald. But what's great about Los Angeles is also what makes it unique on the football field, right? It's a melting pot. People come from all around the country and all around the world to live here. And so there's a Rams contingent. There's now a Chargers contingent, certainly a Raiders and 49ers, and you name it. Every time a big brand comes to town, like a Pittsburgh Steelers or a Philadelphia Eagles, their fans come out of the woodwork too. It's almost like a bowl game atmosphere every Sunday at SoFi Stadium.
And speaking of your Rams, you talk about Aaron Donald and the retirement moving on. Rams kind of quietly making a few off-season moves to bolster that depth. I thought Sean McVay, one of his better coaching dudes to get you guys how far you guys got into the playoffs, almost pulled the upset off as well too. So a lot of quiet underneath the linings there with the LA Rams, and a lot of things to look forward to coming up here this spring.
Yeah, I mean, you guys know that when you overachieve, you always come away with a better taste in your mouth no matter how the season ends. And the Rams had a pretty low hurdle to cross last year, but they got the double-digit wins and a playoff berth, and they played some of their best football down the stretch, which always makes it feel more encouraging going into the offseason. Now, they've had a human cheat code for the last decade playing defensive tackle, and so what does life look like without the best defensive player walking the planet? It's going to be more difficult. Aaron Donald spoiled us as those who follow the Rams for his entire tenure, from his Rookie of the Year season all the way through his 8 straight first-team All-Pro campaign. So he's a first-ballot Hall of Famer for a reason, and I think he uniquely devastated the division, if you know what I mean. Like, Kyler Murray's been a great quarterback when he's not playing the Rams. Russell Wilson was a great quarterback when he wasn't playing the Rams. So without Aaron Donald in the middle, it'll certainly look different, and I think they'll have to find ways to win on the margin because it'll be different without him, even as Stafford's prime has been extended here.
In your estimation then, JB, is it still the 49ers, and then is it the 3 other teams who are battling for that next slot?
I think that's right. I mean, I don't want to concede that here in late March, but I think
I
you're right
understand that
the 49ers have such a great run of success. And until someone can prove that they can take the division from their hands, it's San Francisco's to lose. But I think the moves that Seattle has made within their coaching ranks really impressive and will rejuvenate that franchise. I think the Arizona Cardinals had some sneaky good losses and made some progress last year. And the Rams are going to, have to, like we said, figure out life without Aaron. And so I'm not sure how I would maybe power rank those 3, but I bet when we wake up in August and turn our attention to training camp, everyone will pick San Francisco atop the NFC West again.
All right, we got this big game tonight, the last of the Mohicans of the Pac-12 being U of A. And, Jeb, you watch this team, you broadcast this team, and you look at the Tommy Lloyd era, if you will. What makes this team is giving you confidence they can go ahead and beat Clemson tonight and move into the Final Four? What have you seen anything different this year than the past few years, JB?
Well, I think it's tough to be great start to finish in college basketball. And throughout Tommy's tenure, that's kind of been where they've been. They've had wonderful non-conference resumes, and it's been both a blessing and a curse in terms of the expectation that it's set for a program that already expects to make runs to Final Fours. I think the team they're playing tonight, Clemson, is interesting too because they kind of had a similarly fast start and then floundered a bit early in league play, and the ACC was noticeably slighted, I think, come March Madness in their tournament seeding and expectations, and they've overachieved. So Clemson's defense has been really, really good. What they've done to New Mexico and Baylor has been super impressive. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Arizona with a week of preparation is able to do. But there's a reason why Arizona was a preseason favorite. There was a reason why, even though they faltered and everyone wanted to find a reason to dislike them and to believe that there was something wrong in Tucson, they nonetheless prevailed and are the last Pac-12 team standing despite a good first week for the conference.
JB, with the Pac-12 network, obviously things are going to be changing. Are you hearing anything new in regards to what may happen here, and where we will hear you again? When it comes to basketball, at least, in some capacity.
I appreciate you asking, and if you have a say or a voice at the table, please go to bat for me. I would love to be back in Tempe and Tucson specifically as much as possible, two places that are near and dear to my heart. My wife was born and raised there in the Valley. She went to Arizona undergrad and law school, so I do hope to stay as connected to those universities as best I can as they make their moves into the Big 12, and I think they'll do really, really well there competitively, and it'll be good for their fans and their alumni. But as for me and what comes next, I'm very much looking for answers to those questions too, and time will tell. But nothing but thankful for the decade plus that I had with the Pac-12 network and then the conference that I grew up in and rooting for.
And what is the latest as far as Pac-12 concerned? You got the two teams left. There's the Mountain West. There's a lot of talk and speculation about some things moving around in reference to that. What have you heard, or what are you aware of, or what's in the works, hopefully?
Well, and I think about the way that those two institutions, speaking of Oregon State and Washington State, finished the football season, and then especially what Kyle Smith and the Cougs were able to do in basketball season. I know he just took the Stanford job, and Pat Chun crossed the state to go to UW. It's been a season of upheaval, and clearly it's not done yet. So they're going to have a lot of tough questions to answer, and maybe a 2-year uphill battle to climb. But I know that the people in those places are equipped to handle that. And I still very much believe in those athletic departments and those universities and their brands. And I think West Coast sports has value. I think the two time zones that we live in and operate in mean a lot to us, clearly, mean a lot to the sports landscape. And no conference nor television package would be complete without them. So I like all of us, I wish we weren't in this position. I like the status quo. Clearly, I benefited from it tremendously. But I also don't think we've arrived at the final result. And a lot still has to happen in college athletics, driven by football first, and then we can maybe cobble back together whatever makes sense for the rest of the year.
JB,
revenue and non-revenue sports.
Right. Since Oregon State and Washington State maintain the Pac-12 name, and it is a major brand, could you see in another year, maybe 2 years, some sort of revival of the so-called Pac-12 using a list of Mountain West teams, something of that nature?
Well, I maintain optimism for the future of the Pac-12, and some of that is maybe naivete on my part, but I hope not. I believe in that brand. I believe in the two institutions that are remaining. I believe in Teresa Gold, the new commissioner, who I think is tremendous. We're focused on the men's tournament in Arizona run clearly, but how about what the women's basketball programs have continued to do and the rise of that sport and everything that the Pac-12 has done to elevate women's athletics? So at a time where that sport is as hot as ever, in terms of its popularity, in terms of its star power, I still think there's a lot there to capture and to build off of and maintain. And I would hate to see the great work that those coaches and programs have done be eroded by, the affiliation, the leagues that they're going to have to play in, and the trips that they're going to have to make moving.
1 minute.
But there's no use crying over spilled milk, though I understand the question. I would just like to hang on and hope for better things for all student athletes and coaches and administrators involved.
Oh, we could agree more. That's for sure. JB, thank you as always, man. It's going to be a fun weekend of Sweet 16 basketball, and then I'm sure the tournament, which is in our backyard, as you know. So we're pretty excited about it. But thank you as always to make some time for us here in Phoenix.
I do hope you guys are going to be able to enjoy the Final Four, and I almost said bear down, but knowing that you're in Tempe, maybe I'll keep that to myself.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Speaker's on pretty loud in here, so yeah, thank you. See you, JB. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your show.
You too. That's JB Long joining us here, the former. Well, I want to say Pac-12 former, but you can't. He's still Pac-12. Yes, I hate saying that because you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
We really don't.
Yeah.
We do know we get to talk to him a couple times during the year for football, which, of course, he's been with the Rams forever. But he's also part of Westwood Run Radio as well, so you can catch him on some play-by-play there. But he is brought to you today by All City Towing. If you're looking for a new career this year that has incredible benefits and great pay, All City Towing continues to hire new people to join their team. Head to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com and search careers. All City Towing. Statewide service, and they answer your call 24/7, allcitytowing.com. Coming up, we need a contestant to challenge one of the beautiful girls here at the Tempe Twin Peaks. We'll take the fifth caller at 602-260-9191. Where we need